My parents don't like the fact that I drink. My parents call me an alcoholic, an addict. They say I need help sometimes. I don't know, sometimes it's like I feel like they're overreacting, but... Well, this was when I was drinking heavily, like on the regular, and if I hadn't had a drink, I would feel really anxious, like I'd feel stressed out, sleepless, like I wouldn't be able to fall asleep at night. I think I definitely have a drinking problem.
Alcohol is one of the most commonly abused substances in Canada. Each year, Canadians are thought to spend $12.4 billion on alcohol. The Centre for Addiction and Mental Health reports that 10% of Canadians are dependent on alcohol at some point in their lives. What makes alcohol addictive, and what defines a typical alcoholic?
So biologically speaking, there is a dopamine rewarding system in the brain, such that when you drink alcohol, it releases dopamine and makes you feel good. So your body encourages you to continue drinking alcohol in order to continue this dopamine release, and it leads to a cycle of addiction. And a typical alcoholic patient, it's difficult to answer. Most oftentimes when we see them in family practice, you don't know that they're alcoholics. It's very well hidden. So you have people who are professionals, younger people who are rather healthy, who tend to go home and overdrink and abuse alcohol. So I'd say with most patients, you don't actually know.
Almost 6,700 Canadians die each year as a result of drinking alcohol, many due to health problems related to alcohol use. While it is available through several specialized stores, are employees at these retailers able to deny access to someone who they believe has an addiction? And do they offer support for those who suffer from alcoholism?
I would say my store that distributes alcohol doesn't do much for people suffering from alcohol abuse. I know firsthand many repeat customers that come in, and we actually make a connection with those kind of people who come in frequently. You don't see any pamphlets for alcohol abuse in the store or anything of that nature.
On average, the same person may come in 2 to 3 times, but usually after they come in the 3rd time, I will personally deny service to them.
There's a fine line because it really depends on the person and it depends on the organization. Is that our organization profits off selling alcohol. So that organization is not going to turn customers away.
I don't feel morally inclined to tell someone that they have a drinking problem. I don't even think you're supposed to mention it to someone who has a drinking problem unless they're visibly intoxicated. I don't think you're supposed to mention anything. They're a customer to my store, so why would you turn away a repeat customer? It's the same thing in regards to fast food. Is someone who is obese going to get turned away from McDonald's? No, they're going to keep serving them gladly with a smile on their face. And that's what I do.
Dependency on alcohol can be a result of many things. Alcoholism can be a direct result of stress, where the user tries to self-medicate in order to avoid dealing with the problems they are facing. The questions that are often asked are, when did it start? And what might have caused them to turn to alcohol?
When I started drinking at 15, it would be like maybe once a month, once every few months or something like that. When I turned 19 and I got legal aged, started basically drinking every day at work. Like as soon as I'd wake up. I guess like it was like a couple of years before it really started becoming a habit, like a daily habit then. I probably started becoming more of a lone drinker after I dropped out of high school. When I was living with my mom before, we were having like a really tough time, so I wouldn't go to school and try to avoid, like get out of reality by drinking and doing other stuff. When my girlfriend broke up with me for drinking, I just started drinking more because how sad it made me. And I was like, not the way to fix that problem, right? Like, could have tried to cut it out of my life and maybe talk to her again, but I did the opposite. Friends too, they might be like, you gotta quit drinking, and you'll be like, yeah, I know, I gotta quit drinking. But the only time you ever see them is like when you're like meeting up for a drink or something like that, I don't know.
While some may be prone to abusing alcohol more than others, alcoholism has a rippling effect, destroying lives and relationships in its wake.
I know someone who is currently and has suffered from alcoholism. It's my mom. She's had a problem since I was probably 7, so it's been a long time. All of her relationships were affected. As I got older, you learn that was a part of my parents' divorce. That was a part of why she doesn't work anymore. Her alcoholism took over her whole life. She stopped going to work. Now she's on disability because she ended up getting a liver transplant. So, I mean, she's probably never going to work again. She doesn't have any friends. She has a boyfriend, but he's got a problem too. So, I mean, he's a nice guy, and they attract their own. So an addiction with an addiction, and everyone else just kind of didn't exist.
Fear of judgment, or rather perceived judgment, from parents, family, and friends can often lead to furthering alcoholic tendencies instead of being helpful or acting as a support system for someone suffering from addiction.
Yeah, I definitely feel judged for drinking as much as I do. Co-workers, parents, friends. But in recent months, they've all seen like I made an improvement, you know. I've got a new job. I'm like happier with my life now. I don't drink nearly as much as I did.
With her alcoholism, she didn't see the problem. They never really see the problem. It's only everyone else that sees the problem. So she was never home. She would come home on Thursdays to do groceries, and then she'd leave again and be at whoever's house, her boyfriend's house or whoever. So they tend to not want to be around people who judge them. So if they're feeling judged, they just leave, and they don't really see how that affects everyone else around them.
No, I wouldn't really say it was other people's expectations that would bring me down to, you know, force me to go drink or anything. I didn't really ever care about what other people thought, which is like one of the reasons why I would drink as much as I did. Like even when I was judged, I'd be like, whatever, you know, not gonna see that person ever again. Who cares? Who cares what they think?
Despite its social and medical issues, alcoholism is not a dead-end addiction. There is still some hope at the end of the day.
I guess I wouldn't say I have a drinking problem anymore. I did have one, like a pretty bad one before, but like I'm not out of the clear yet. It takes like a lot of steps towards that. I think it's definitely a phase. I think I'm gonna like get my shit together. I think I can accomplish it on my own. I don't know, I have like a brighter future in my head, you know?